All right, welcome back. Daily focuses. So we are going to talk about finding angles using our trig functions now. So we've got our trig functions down here to remind us. But it's going to work the same way like you did with sides, except going to be missing the angles. So we need to identify adjacent, opposite, hypotenuse, pick the right trig function. So it says our theta is this one, and we don't know it. This is the angle I want to figure out. So that means across from the 90, this is our hypotenuse. So the 3, because it's attached to the angle we call theta, is going to be the adjacent. So that means the 4 has to be the opposite, and it's across from theta. So the numbers we're given, we're given the adjacent and the opposite. Adjacent and the opposite tell me that I need to use the tangent function. So tangent of this angle theta is going to equal the opposite over the adjacent. The opposite is the 4, the adjacent is the 3. Now this is where this gets a little bit weird. What we're going to do is we're going to use what's called the inverse tangent function, or either one of these, inverse sine, inverse cosine, but this time it's the inverse tangent because we're working with tangent. We want this to go to this other side. To do that, what it does is it gains this little -1. And really, all that's there for is, for us, it's a button on our calculator we need to push before we push 4 divided by 3. And it's actually the second button on tangent on the calculator. So you have to hit second tangent, and then you type in 4 divided by 3. And I get, now make sure your calculator's in degrees, mode in degrees. I find out that this angle is about 53.1 degrees. So big thing with this right here. This is a button in the calculator, on the calculator, for the way that we're going to use it. Okay? You just need to find that button. So we're going to do the same thing with this one down here. Identify the sides, list the angle that we want by marking it. So that's the angle we're going to use. So that means the 13 is across from the 90. It's the hypotenuse. The one that we don't have any number for is the adjacent. And across from the theta is the opposite. So that means numbers we know are opposite and hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse tells me we're going to use sine. So the sine of this angle theta is going to be 7 divided by 13. And just like we did before, to move this sine away from that theta so we can solve for it, it gains that little -1 when we move it across. The equal sign. It's like an algebra step. Move it to the other side, it gains this little -1. And we're going to put that 7 over 13 in its parentheses. And again, this is a button on the calculator. Second sine will bring this up and allow you to use it. Make sure you're in degrees because we want to find these angles in degrees, not radians. So second sine, 7 divided by 13 is 35.6. So 35.6 degrees is our answer. That's all there is to it.